Breaking news right now on CBS2 News at 5. A dad is shot to death while on a camping trip with his little kids. But who pulled the trigger?
Sheriff's detectives have swarmed the family's campground at Malibu Creek State Park near Calabasas. And that's where Chris Holmstrom is live.
And Chris, what can you tell us right now?
Yeah, I can tell you this is an active investigation. Details are limited, but the man that was shot and killed was actually a father. He was with his two little girls, ages 2 and 4. I can tell you, though, those girls are okay. Now, take a look behind me. The family was camping in the distance right here. That area now blocked off. But take a look at this video from Chopper 2. Sheriff's deputies, they were called out here around 4:45 this morning. When they arrived, they found a man with a gunshot wound to his upper torso. He died on the scene. As I mentioned, none of his girls were injured. As for a person of interest, authorities do not have suspect information or even a possible motive for this case.
I'm just saying it's like pretty secluded, like everything's pretty spread out, like it's pretty quiet. Like I wouldn't expect like something to happen.
Camping is closed for today. Actually, out of abundance of caution, we're closing the campground through Thursday, June 28th.
And again, this is an active investigation. A father found dead while camping with his two daughters. Once we get more information, we'll bring it right to you. Pat and Peter, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. Now to the immigration crisis at our border.
Here's the latest at 5.
The president tweeted that Republicans should wait until after the midterm elections to deal with immigration because they don't have the votes to pass a bill now.
ICE says it is looking for as many as 15,000 beds for immigrant families.
The Pentagon is looking at contingency plans to build detention centers on military bases, including Camp Pendleton.
And LA Mayor Eric Garcetti says he has just learned that roughly 100 migrant children separated from their parents are being housed somewhere in LA.
CBS 2's Amy Johnson begins our live team coverage tonight. Amy.
Well, Pat and Peter, the president's tweet suggesting GOP lawmakers put off the immigration issue until after the midterm election came with a side note that Democrats are playing games. Also today, the president tried to shift the narrative by holding a news conference with people who say their loved ones were killed by illegal immigrants. At a White House meeting with the families of people killed by undocumented immigrants, the president once again pointed fingers at congressional Democrats and the media.
No major network sent cameras to their homes or displayed the images of their incredible loved ones across the nightly news. They don't do that.
Then, one by one, families told their stories, including Sabine Durden of Moreno Valley, the mother of Riverside County Sheriff's Dispatcher Dominic Durden.
I protected my child from harm, but I couldn't do that on July 12, 2012.
Her son, 30-year-old Dominic Durden, was killed last Thursday. A head-on collision here at Pigeon Pass Road and Chambray Drive.
He was everyone's best friend.
That was our coverage of the story 6 years ago. The man who killed her son, Juan Zacharias Zun, an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala. He pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter and being an unlicensed driver. He was sentenced to 9 months in jail and 5 years probation. According to Durden, he was released after serving just 35 days.
The public needs to know, and they deserve to know, that this could happen to each one of you at any given second.
These are the stories that Democrats and people that are weak on immigration, they don't want to discuss, they don't want to hear, they don't want to see, they don't want to talk about.
Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu of Manhattan Beach tried to talk about it on the House floor today, playing an audio tape he says are immigrant children crying inside a detention center after being taken away from their parents.
We're 2,300 babies and kids in detention facilities were ripped away from their parents. I think the American people need to hear this.
The gentleman is in breach of quorum.
Lieu violated House rules by playing that tape. This was supposed to be the day the House voted on a compromise immigration bill, but Republican leaders don't appear to have the vote yet, so it's delayed until next week. Durden says this is inexcusable.
Let's work together and get this done. All politicians, I don't care what side you're on, you don't want your child in a casket or in an urn. So get it together, for God's sake, for this country, for our citizens. Thank you.
And Lieu is co-sponsoring a bill called the Keeping Families Together Act. More than 190 Democrats are backing it, but it's not certain when or if the Republican leadership will put it on the House floor. Send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Amy. And our coverage of the immigration debate continues at 5:30. We are live in San Diego, where U.S. Senator Kamala Harris visited a detention center today. Her reaction coming up at 5:30.
All right, let's go now to another top story today. The weather. Nice shot there of the beach. It is getting hotter as we get closer to the weekend.
That is for sure. CBS 2's Garth Kemp joins us now with a first look at the forecast. Hey, Garth.
Hey, Pat. Yeah, well, we're picking up a lot of clouds by the shore. You just saw it. They're socked in towards Marina Del Rey and up to the north. Get down to the South Long Beach behind me. Looking pretty good. 73 degrees. West winds at around 6 miles an hour. Camarillo, beautiful up in Ventura County. 69 degrees up there by the outlet malls and up by Los Pozos. That whole area up there looking really good right now. Lots of clouds moving in by the beaches there. Long Beach, 76 northwest winds at around 10 miles an hour. And then out towards Ontario, the heat's on a little bit. 91 west-southwest winds at around 14 miles an hour. A little better there today than we were yesterday, but Lancaster still smoking hot, coming in at 103 and windy up there as well. West winds 23. Look at the humidity, just about 7% right now. So it is definitely hot out there. We're going to start to bring things down. We're going to slip a little more June gloom pattern in to quite a few areas as we head into the weekend. We'll finally break loose some of this heat up into the high deserts. We'll show you all that. If you're heading out to the Colorado River Valley, that means Havasu, Parker, the Big X out that area. Or if you're heading out to Vegas, we'll show you that and those warnings, how long they're going to continue on, if they'll go through the weekend at all. That's all coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Garth. Developing news now about the health of Joe Jackson, the head of the famous Jackson family. Variety is reporting that Jackson is hospitalized and in the final stages of terminal cancer. Joe Jackson is the patriarch of the Jackson family and the creator of the Jackson 5. He suffered a stroke in 2015, and he has reportedly been in failing health for several years now. Joe Jackson is 89 years old.
Los Angeles has lost a giant of the civil rights movement. John Mack has passed away at the age of 81.
He was such a wonderful man, Peter. City leaders and activists alike say he was a steady force of positive change in turbulent times. And CBS 2's Lisa Siegel is live in downtown LA with more. Lisa.
Pat, what a life, what a legacy, what a man. John Mack was simply a calming voice during some of the city's most turbulent times. He made a difference everywhere he went, and in his honor, the mayor has asked for all flags around the city to be flown at half-staff.
Sadness. We have lost a giant. This man was an icon in Los Angeles.
John Mack, a civil rights leader, a man hailed for improving the lives of people in disenfranchised communities and helping reshape the direction of our city and police department, died Thursday at the age of 81. Mayor Eric Garcetti says he will continue to be an inspiration.
He was somebody who was the opposite of what we hear today, which is really angry voices that aren't saying much. And he was a calm voice that always said a lot.
Mack served as president of the LA Urban League for 36 years until he retired in 2005. He was a major voice during some of the city's most tumultuous times, calling for calm and healing and police reform after the LA riots. He later went on to become president of the LA Police Commission. City Council President Herb Wesson talked about his longtime friend.
I can't think of anyone, any elected leader that would have anything negative to say about John.
Outgoing LAPD Chief Charlie Beck tweeted, Mack was instrumental in guiding the LAPD towards community-based 21st century policing. Our department and our city are in a better place because of John's legacy. Reverend Jesse Jackson called Mack a civil rights giant and freedom fighter. And Magic Johnson called him a great man. He said, "Thank you, John Mack, for changing my life and thousands of others. May you rest in peace." And those at the Urban League say while this is the passing of a legend, they promise his legacy and message will live on forever.
We are better because he has been here. And we will try to continue that legacy. We stand on his shoulders.
Well, I spoke to his daughter just a bit ago, and she tells me they are heartbroken, but so thankful for all the years they had with him. She says their family is mourning along with all of Los Angeles. As I said, what a man, what a legacy. Back to you.
Thank you, Lisa. And Peter, just an aside, John Mack embraced me when I first moved here almost 30 years ago and just really welcomed me with open arms, took me under his wing, he and his beautiful wife, and I'm just so thankful that I got a chance to know him and just be around him. So he will sorely be missed, as you can tell from all the tributes there.
Certainly, and our thoughts are with his family.
Absolutely, Pierre.
All right, well, a big change in the fallout of the Compton water controversy.
The general manager of the water agency that's been delivering brown water is now suspended. Maria Rochelle Garza is accused of paying people to show up at a town hall meeting to support the Sativa LA County Water District. The LA Times reports it has text messages Garza exchanged with a man who says he was hired to place an ad on Craigslist seeking paid supporters. The district board at first denied the accusations, but now it says it has placed Garza on leave with pay while it investigates.
Well, you'll get to have a say about whether longer days become a year-round thing here in California. State lawmakers have voted to place a measure on the November ballot. It asks voters to give them the power to move toward changing the state's policy on daylight saving time. But that vote would not mean it's a done deal. If it passes, legislatures would have to get approval from the government to make the switch. One state lawmaker says it would help our health.